All right, welcome to my 2017 Father's Day live stream. Um, I'm here to answer any of your T-shirt related questions. And before we get started, I want to wish everybody a happy Father's Day. Hopefully, you and your family are spending it together and enjoying your day today. I'm not going to be able to be on here that long today because I have a few things to get to. How you doing, Jammin? Yes, right now you are the only one here. I just started maybe a few seconds ago, 40, not even a minute. I haven't even been live for a minute yet. So sometimes, it takes a couple of minutes before people come in. And then today is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. How you doing, Winston Linko? Winston Linko, I think that's how you pronounce it. You need to go clean your face. You got stuff all on your face. How you doing, Wade? Happy Father's Day to everybody. I hope you guys are enjoying your Father's Day. I hope y'all got your fathers and grandfathers or any other father figure in y'all life a nice gift for today. And I'm not going to be able to be on here the full hour today because I have a few things that I have to get done today. I have right now, my son is actually making a couple of last minute Father's Day gifts, a couple of t-shirts and a decal. So I'll probably let y'all kind of check that out. You got everything set up and ready to go? Make sure that light goes off on that heat press and then you can get started printing. And that decal, I'll show you how to do that when I get off the live stream. So do any of y'all have any special things y'all doing today? Thank you, Mike. Thank you for watching. You're welcome, Winston Lico. And I got my son back here. He's dying to get on the live stream. Oh, Jammin, you working? Thank you for taking a little bit of your time to hang out with us for a little bit. Mike Lawson, I don't think I'm going to do my own clothing line. Not right now. I don't know. I don't never tell y'all my age on here, but I'm a little bit older than the popular crowd right now, so I don't really know what to do for a clothing line other than fitness or a Christian line, and to me, I think there would be more of a niche or a niche than a clothing line. So I don't know if I do anything, it probably will be something like that. And I have a question for y'all. Do any of y'all have websites where you have like a t-shirt designer tool on there? And if so, what t-shirt designer tool are you using? Because I'm interested in trying to get a website going. Yeah, I've been trying to get my kids involved in the business. DJ Key, I've been trying to get them involved in the business. Hey, would you go somewhere? Go. I had to send that silly acting one away. Get a little bit more light in here. Yeah, I gotta figure out I got something going on with YouTube and the ORS Studio program that I'm using to do live streams. This is the laptop that I'm actually using is a pretty high powered laptop, but for some reason ORS only will let me stream like 400 Gbps or whatever it is. You know, it's like too low when I should be at around 4,000. So my image is not coming out as well, and I don't really like using my cell phone to do it. It's just a whole lot easier to read your comments and stuff on the laptop. So I would rather, you know, deal with the laptop and not have to try to scroll through on my phone and, you know, find all of your questions. Uproar says he has they have a website that's under construction. Yeah, I have bought a name or whatever, but I just haven't done anything with it. But that's something I'm looking into going to. And after tomorrow, I may be letting you guys know some news. I'm gonna have to see how everything goes tomorrow, and I might have some big news for you guys. How many fathers do we have on here today? William says, I'm using Deco Network, which is excellent. Yeah, I'm looking into that, so I'm going to have to write that down so I can try to see which program I'm going to go with. Yeah, what I'm actually trying to do is to keep, well, not really keep, but to get my customers to going online and kind of making their own design to kind of free me up a little bit, because if they can go on there and make exactly what they want, I won't have to be doing so many designs. And, you know, because I'm right now pretty much doing everything myself, and at times I get busy, and then just like, you know, they had Father's Day coming up. That's why my son is just now making his Father's Day gifts, because I've been busy. I even had to work yesterday, and I'm usually closed on the weekends except for pickups. You know, every now and then I work on the weekend, but I try to use the weekends to spend with my family. Okay, WordPress. I'll have to check that one out. Big WordPress. And Jamie says, if you have the time, designing your own is cheapest. I don't mind designing it, but the reason I was saying I might have some big news tomorrow, you know, that's part of why I want to do that, so that I can, you know, I can get the people to going online, creating their own design. I still will design some, but as far as if they can get what they need online without me having to actually, you know, come in and take their order and stuff, if they can do it online, that'll, you know, that's just some more time that I'll have. I mean, you're always going to have customers that are not good with computers or don't want to do stuff on the computers. Okay, Winston says 3 children. I got two boys myself. Let me see. King of Bling Crawford T-shirt says, are you charging your customers for work on their designs? Actually, I've been kind of including it, you know, in the price, and that's something else that I'm possibly going to have to look at too. And, you know, stuff like what happened this weekend, where I ended up having to work late on Friday and then come in and work Saturday also, because I had like some kind of last minute orders for Father's Day. You know, I'm kind of looking into that, and that's one of the other reasons to kind of free me up a little bit more. And I don't mind unless it's something complicated or somebody that's got, wants something real specific, and I have to redesign a whole bunch of things. But like, I usually include a design, something I can do in like 30, 45 minutes, something like that. If they're doing a decent size order, then I usually include it into that. And Fly Zoe asked, "Where do I buy my shirts?" I answered that question like 100,000 times. It's a few places that I use: SNS, um, Heritage Sports, and Staten. And somebody else on here said you should check out Alpha Border. That's like my number one question, I think. Okay, Wade Young has 3 kids. Another person said they order from Sandmore, so that's another place you guys could check out. And most of these places, well, I don't know, all of them may not, but the places that I order from, you have to actually have a wholesale license in order to order from them. So, did any of y'all do a lot of Father's Day shirts this week, or Father's Day printing? I guess not really just shirts, because I know a lot of y'all offer different things other than just T-shirts. If you need some help, let me know, okay? Yeah, my son is over there. I'll kind of see if I can let y'all see him a little bit. He's over there working. Yeah, he's over there printing a couple of Father's Day shirts for his grandpa. Uh-oh. You nervous? I'm making you nervous putting you on live stream over there. I might be making him nervous. No, he's not screen printing. He's just doing a couple of vinyl shirts. William, I'm wanting to try to. I don't know. I don't really know a whole lot about the online t-shirt business, but what I would like to do is make it so that people from out of town can order, and when people from in town order, I would like to give them the option to pick it up to save on the shipping, because most, that'll save both of us a little bit of money probably on the shipping. So I'm gonna try to, and I don't even know if this is possible. One of y'all may be able to help me out with that, but can you offer pickup if you have that, that type of setup? Charles Lucas says, when you're putting your designing together, do you use butt or overlap registration? I always overlap because it gives you a little room for error. Sometimes you don't get it lined up perfectly. I mean, you can, but it just takes a little bit of time and practice to to get to doing it. But if you do the overlap, then that always gives you a little room for error if everything's not perfect. Yeah, I was looking at one. Well, I actually have been looking up a few of the t-shirt design tools, and one of them is called, I can't even think of what the name of it is. It's called T-shirt something. Uh, it might be T-shirt tool or something like that. I don't remember. And I'm sorry, I'm probably not seeming real energetic today. I'm a little bit tired today too. I'm doing good, Javier. How you doing? And happy Father's Day to you, and happy Father's Day to any of the fathers that may have just tuned in. Let me see. When you finish with your shirts, I want you to come show the people, okay? So let them check out some of your work. Yeah, William. Tomorrow after I find out this information, then I'm gonna let y'all know why I'm thinking about going that way. Which if I can go that way, I feel like it can be a help. Maybe I can get some customers that are not from my area. But I'm just kind of trying to look up something to like free up a little bit more time, because to me the designing takes the longest part of the shirts unless you have like a huge order. But pretty much, the designing, it takes longer to make a design than it does to print a few shirts to me. Maybe it's somebody out there that's a speed designer, but it takes me a little bit to make a design or create a design. Okay, Javier is working on a design. What you designing today, Javier? Yeah, the designing it's not real hard, but just like as far as being creative, it just takes a little bit of time. And like with me, I learned how to do Photoshop and all my T-shirt business. I learned how to do that online. I never went to graphic design school or anything, and sometimes I feel like creativity. At times, your creativity flows better, and you can come up with all kind of things. And then sometimes it doesn't flow as well. Okay, that's nice. Javier's designing for a shoe store. And CADWorks Live. I'll have to check that one out too. DJ Key says, "What's a good printer for heat press transfers?" It depends on if you're going with a laser with a laser printer or an inkjet printer. A lot of people like the Epsons, and they do print like really really nice as far as photographs and stuff like that. But you also have Canons out there. I've used a Canon printer to print transfers before, and they work nice too. I think the big Epson printer that I had, it printed like 13 by 14. I mean 13 by 19 paper, and it was the Epson 1400, and that's been a few years ago. I actually ended up selling that one. But they probably have one. It might be the 1500 or the 1600 by now. I'm not sure. But I use a Oki 561, and it's a laser printer, and it only prints 8.5 by 11. Yeah, like I use the Google and I search for images. Sometimes I'll search for those actual T-shirts, and then you'll see the shirts, and sometimes get inspired from that. You know, but as far as just coming up with something nice, like I like to come up with something I mean, sometimes, I'm just trying to get the design done, but sometimes you really want something nice, something different, something that's going to stand out. That's how I got started with the football shirts, because I would do stuff that stood out. And like, you have to be pretty creative to do something like that. And people will want those shirts because of, because they were just like crazy standout shirts. DJ Key Styles, if you want, it's kind of up to you. Like with the laser, the reason I use laser transfer paper is because you don't have to replace ink so much, but you could also get one of those CIS, the ink setups or whatever, where you have the continuous ink flow or whatever. Javier says inkjet. So, to me, I think it's kind of a preference to you, to what you prefer. But if you want to be able to print bigger images, it'll probably be cheaper to get a bigger inkjet printer than it is to get a bigger laser printer, because laser printers cost a little bit more. You getting it over there, son, or you need some help? All right. Let me know when you get finished. I'm excited. These will be my son's first shirts that he has printed completely 100% by himself. Usually, he'll help me do weeding and stuff like that, but I told him it's time for him to start doing a little bit more. DJ Key Styles, you can follow him on Instagram at Crucial with a K, Crucial Instinct. Charles Lucas says, do I own my store? Did I ever print from my home? If so, did your volumes increase when you had a storefront? I'm going to have to do a story time on how I started printing t-shirts and how I ended up getting my shop, because a lot of people ask about that, and it's really kind of I think it's a unique and crazy story. I printed out of my home, but when I did print out of the house, I didn't get many customers. Most of the customers that I got were like were people that I knew, and like friends and friends of friends, stuff like that. It wasn't really nothing serious. I was just making a few extra dollars. But once I got my shop, when I started off, like the first month or so, I was making like $2,000 a month, and I had just opened. I mean, it was just, the first few months was like really good and unexpected to me, because I wasn't expecting to do as well as I did, but I kind of just took a chance. I got this shop when I knew this building was vacant. I didn't know the price of it or whatever, so this used to be the nail shop, and they actually moved next door to a bigger building. So when I got this place, if y'all look back at some of my other videos, when I first got this place, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to afford it. So right away, I asked my mom if she would, and the rent is only $300, but at that time, I had a job. I was an apartment manager, and I ended up getting fired from that job for no reason. And it's a long story about that. I'll have to tell y'all about that. But it was a real stressful job, and I was kind of glad and relieved, and it was like a weight off of me when I did get fired from that job. But the people, when they fired me, they was real nice and stuff like that, because they knew that, they was firing me for no reason. And I could go into a lot of detail with that, but I'm going to have to do a story time. Maybe I can get that in sometime during this week and kind of just tell y'all a little bit about myself. But I got this building, and I put all my equipment in here. I started printing t-shirts out of here, and eventually all I was doing was vinyl t-shirts, and I also do video editing. Then I ended up having to move up to learn how to do screen printing. And when I first got the shop, my mom was in here with me. She did like flowers, so it was like one half flower shop, one half t-shirt printing. But through a lot of determination and perseverance and blessings from God, I finally got this place to where this was all I had to do, and I didn't need another job, and this could take care of what I needed it to take care of. But as far as going into a lot of detail, I'm gonna have to go ahead and do a story time for y'all, so y'all can kind of know a little bit about me. Okay. I'm gonna have to help my son for a minute. I'm gonna just bring y'all over here with me while I help him. Let me see.
So you say on the back it's supposed to go down 2 inches, you said?
Yep. Let me see.
Why don't you want that good?
On 2 inches, it doesn't fit on the entire shirt.
Okay. All right. Here's the thing. You got it backwards like this. All right. You start up top. You got the thing. Is everything even? Everything's even. Okay. So we're gonna go right here. This is a big design. So what we're gonna do, because it won't fit on here, and I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing, but this design is oversized. So part of it is hanging off of there, and that's what he was having a question about, the part that's hanging off. So we're gonna place this down on 2 inches. That's 1.5. This is 2 right here, and it can be a little above 2. It's not that serious. Okay, so you put it right here. You line it up on there. Is everything lined up right? Mm-hmm. And now what you do is remove your t-shirt and flatten that out. And you see how it kind of sticks? It kind of sticks to here. What you can do is slide it up now. Or you could have pressed it and then slid it up. So now it's all fitting on there. There you go. Go ahead. And I'm going to let you guys check him out while he's pressing this. But yeah, trying to teach my son how to do a little something with this. You got it? See if I can fix it where y'all can see it, because everything is you have to let it cool a little bit. Let it cool slightly before you peel it off. It's kind of a delay in the video that I'm seeing, so everything may not be lined up the way it needs to be. You can go ahead and peel it. It should be cool enough. You got the little pocket logo thing?
Yeah, it's already on.
Oh, you put it on already?
Yeah.
Let me see. Turn over. Alright, for one thing, you put it on the opposite side that it goes on, but I guess that's cool. It goes on the left side. Turn it around the other way and hold it still. Alright. And every time I move this camera around, this laptop around, it's just like making the image blurry. I'm going to have to try to figure out something with it. But that's his first shirt. Some people telling you good job and great job, Absalom.
Thanks.
He said thanks. Let me see where I left off at. Lou Richards asked, have I tried CADWorks Live? I haven't, but I did write that down. I'm going to have to check it out. Javier says he got the Epson and it works great. The Epson printer for that person that asked about the inkjet or laser. So Charles Lucas, to finish that question, I do not own my store. I rent it, and the rent is $300, which I feel like is really cheap. And I probably never find another place that's $300 or probably not even close to it. And yes, it did increase when I had the storefront, and I printed from home. But you know, I wasn't really marketing myself as a business. It was more like, you know, I was just printing shirts at that time. I mean, I was wanting it to be a business, but I wasn't really just like doing a lot of advertising or nothing like that until I actually got the building. And then I mostly advertised on Facebook, word of mouth. I wore my own shirts, you know, and just put flyers out and stuff like that. All right, DJ Key, I'll try to get that. I'll try to film that video and get it posted sometime this week, or if not this week, I'll post it next week. King of Bling says, I always charge for creating the design. Good quality art is the #1 reason for my growth. Customers can find someone to print shirts, but it's hard for them to find good artwork for shirts. And that may be something I need to start doing, but you know, I try to, like, the town that I live in is small, and not to try to make up excuses or anything, but it's really a low income town. It's not, you know, it's not a lot going on here. So I try to be, you know, reasonably priced. It's a small town. And still, with that being said, my prices are not the cheapest prices, but it's kind of like in the middle. And William asks, is my son going to be a baller? I don't know. He's undecided right now. He's about to be a freshman in high school. And I don't know. I try to work with him. He had been saying he wanted to play ball. He's real fast. I try to get him to try track. But I don't know. He's just not really into the athletics like I would like for him to be. I mean, I don't try to force anything like that upon him. My youngest son, he likes football and basketball, so you know, he may be my athletic one, but both of them are real smart. Both of them are honor roll kids. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, you said my handsome young man. Thank you. Let me see. Charles Lucas said, how do I establish my pricing for t-shirts, and do I ever do any fraternity or sorority work? No, I have not. This place where I live, I mean, it's a small town. It's a college. Northwestern State University College in Natchitoches, Louisiana is about 30 minutes from here, but I haven't really done any fraternity or sorority work. And with my pricing, the way that I did it, and I need to get that video done, but I've just been pretty busy this week, and I am gonna get that done eventually though. But as far as the pricing, the way that I recommend, and everybody may not do it this way, but if you call around to some of your local shops and you see what their pricing is, and then you also have to take into account, you know, that's kind of where you can kind of base your prices at off of that, but then you also have to take into account your expenses, because if it's cheaper for them to do the shirts, like if you having to buy your shirts from Walmart, but you know, once you get started, you need to go ahead and try to get you a wholesale license as soon as you can. But if you're having to buy your shirts from Walmart, and it's a place that's charging $10 for shirts, and you having to pay $5 for a shirt, you know, that may not be the price that you can charge, or you won't be making much. So it's kind of based on that. It's based, you can kind of get an idea by getting pricing from people who do the same thing that you do locally. And then the next thing you would do is do your expenses. Okay, you take, this is how much the materials that I'm using to make this shirt cost. This is how much time I put into it, stuff like that. And then the amount of shirts they order. If they order one shirt, of course it's going to be more than if they order 100 shirts. So you have to kind of take all that into consideration. But the pricing is really kind of up to you, how much you want to make, because it's some people sell their shirts for $20. Some people sell, if you buy an individual shirt, some people sell it $15, $20. Some people it'll be $50. And then it also depends on what all they're getting printed on the shirt, how many print locations, what type of printing you're doing, as such as vinyl, screen printing, DTG, or whatever. So that, the pricing can kind of get complicated, but I would say check with some of the local places around and try to see what their prices are, so that you can kind of get an idea of what would be a reasonable price for you to charge. Jamie said the flyers work well. I'm thinking about printing flyers to generate more business. When I did the flyers, I started off doing video editing, and like I used to put the flyers inside. You know how you go buy a DVD from Walmart or somewhere, and it's got like the advertisement of their movie or whatever type of paperwork they want inside of it. I would put my flyers, t-shirt flyers, inside those. And the reason I did that is because a lot of people wanted my videos, and I did a lot of different videos. I filmed for churches, and I would film. They might have an event going on at the church. Like I used to film the Black History program at one church like every year, and when I put my flyer in there, now all the people that buy this video, they know that I sell t-shirts or that I print t-shirts. Then we have like little areas around here where you can hang flyers up, like go to the laundromat. People come in there to wash their clothes and get bored, and they'll read the flyers and stuff like that. Buy grocery store, stuff like that. You can put some on people's cars and stuff like that, but I've never did it that way. I just kind of hang it up in places where I know people will be looking for different services. Facebook is a good advertiser. I don't really go on Facebook myself, but I know I can tell you by experience that with the football shirts during football season, because we have a pretty good football team in high school, a high school football team, I go on there and I'll post the shirts, and people will know what shirt I have for that week, and they'll come in and buy the shirt. Some people pre-order, different things like that. But that's if you can reach out on Facebook to some people, like if they have the football, a football team in your area, you can go on there. If they have a Facebook page and post some of your images on there, they may delete them off of there. They may not want you doing that, depending on if they're selling a shirt or not. But you just have to kind of reach these people and let them know that you print t-shirts and come up with some nice designs that's kind of different than the schools. Because see, usually when schools do t-shirts, they don't do a new t-shirt every week or even every month. They might come out with one shirt for their whole year, or maybe one shirt, and then if a special thing come up, they might print another shirt for that. But you can, when the people are going to the games every week, you can provide them a new shirt for each week, and that'll get you more business right there. And I'm just saying football because that's what worked for me. If you have a local school or whatever with a good baseball team or I'm saying football again because that's what worked for me. But basketball, any team like that, and parents love those parent shirts that say you know, something about my son or daughter is out there, you know, stuff like that. They love those type of shirts, or football mom, or you know, they love shirts like that. So if you can advertise and post some of that stuff, then you know, that should get you a few customers also. Yeah, King of Bling. I'm just now getting him into the t-shirt business. He hasn't really been that interested in the past, but since I guess he trying to make money, so he, you know, he's doing a little bit more now. Yes, I still do video editing, not as much, but I still do it on occasion. The t-shirt business pretty much took over the over the video editing. I mean, I still offer it. You know, for some things, if you watch some of my videos, you may see the signs that say I no longer offer filming or video editing. But when people come in here, you know, if it's something that's not too complicated, I will film it. I had a guy. I may be doing a music video soon. Another music video. I've done like 3 music videos. Terrence Cruz says, "How am I doing today? I'm doing good. Just a little bit tired." And he asked, "Can I start a T-shirt line just doing vinyl?" You can probably start a T-shirt line doing vinyl, but once you, I guess, get the line going pretty good, I would recommend screen printing because it's just a better feel on your shirt and stuff. The vinyl is thicker. I mean, you could, but it kind of depends on what you're going into. The vinyl is mostly for like personalized stuff or a few shirts. Like if you're doing a clothing line and everything pick up, and you're having to print hundreds of shirts, you don't want to be doing them in vinyl. That's too much work. You're gonna be doing more work than it's worth unless you increase your prices on it. But still, even if you are making a lot of money on it, the less work you do, the better. And Charles Lucas says, "Do your customers pay a screen charge? You don't have to mention this, but where are you from?" I'm from Manny, Louisiana. That's why I talk so country like I talk. A lot of people always comment about my accent, but I'm from Manny, Louisiana. I'm about 4 hours northwest of New Orleans, and I'm about, I guess, about three to 4 hours from Houston, depending on what part you're going to, from Houston, Texas. And as for my customers, do they pay a screen charge or not? The way that I set up my pricing, if you order a certain number of shirts, you have 2 prints included in it. And if you order less than that number of shirts, then each print will be extra unless you order over my limited number. Like say you order 25 shirts, then you can get one screen fee included. I mean one print, one screen fee included. But if you order 50 shirts, you can get a front and a back print or 2 colors on the front. And after those 2 screens, or after the free screen, then I do charge a fee of $25 per screen. But like if you're ordering a few shirts, I charge per print. Like say you come in and you order one shirt. The shirt might cost you $20 for the first print, but then if you get extra prints, then it'll be like $5 or $10. Like if you get a name on the back, that'll probably be like $5. If you're getting a full back print, that'll be $10. And also, if you're using glitter ink, the glitter ink costs a little bit more, so you have to add that price in too. Um, Terrence is asking, do I recommend starting off with water-based or plastisol? I actually started off with water-based, and um, let me see how I'm going to answer this question. With the water-based ink, it's a lot easier to clean up and stuff like that. I would recommend starting off with water-based because I don't know, to me it was a lot easier to clean up and stuff like that. Because when you get into the plastisol and it's hard to clean up and you just starting, and that's sometimes enough to make you want to quit. I mean, you don't want to be frustrated when you first starting off on something, but eventually I think you would move. I think we would eventually move to plastisol ink from the water-based ink. And the reason I say that is because the plastisol ink, you can leave it in your screen for days or even weeks, and it won't dry out. But with the water-based ink, you have to make sure that you flood your screen after each print so that the screens won't dry out. But both of those printing methods can go hand in hand. Some people, you might have a customer come in there and they want a softer feel on their shirt or whatever. So it just kind of depends on you on what method you go with. But I would say that starting out with the water base would be a little bit easier. And some other reasons for that is when you start out with water base, if you don't have a conveyor dryer or a flash dryer, it's other ways you can dry your ink and cure your ink. You can let the shirts hang dry if they're water-based ink, and then you can use a home iron if you have to, or a heat press to cure it, which I would recommend the heat press because that way you getting the even and the correct temperature across your whole shirt. And when you're using something like an iron, you can't really tell what the temperature is. When you're using something like a heat gun, the temperature is not even. And if you're doing plastisol ink, the ink is not going to cure correctly unless you get it to 320 degrees, and it's really not going to dry that unless you have the proper equipment and get it to the correct degrees. Now, if you have if you're doing, you can just have a flash dryer and you can do plastisol ink or water-based ink, but I would recommend starting off unless you can. I mean, some people can't afford to get everything they need and exactly what they want right away. But when I started, I did little by little because I didn't have a lot of money and I didn't want to have to get a lot of loans or anything like that. But starting off, I would recommend plastisol. Lou Richard said, what's the name of my shop and do I have a sign outside? Yes, I have a sign by the road and outside, and my shop is WE Productions. Jammin said, love the hand I get from water-based inks but hate printing with it. That is Javert, I guess, said, hi, if someone wanted to order custom shirts for clients wholesale, is that possible? Yeah, that's possible. How you doing, Teresa? You having a good Father's Day so far? Yes, I was going to start with a heat gun to being cute with my heat press. Yeah, I think that'll work out pretty good for you if But really, if you're doing water based, you can just let it dry. You can either, if you have a lot of space, you can lay your shirts out and let them dry. You can hang them to dry. While you're printing the other shirts. That way you won't have to individually dry each one. Or if you have some help, you can have one person drying them and pressing them, or two other people, one person drying them and pressing them while you print to save time. Thanks, Charles. And you say you've been in business since '85. That's pretty good. Long time. All right, DJ Key. I'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in, and thank everybody else for tuning in today, because I know it's Father's Day and some of y'all might be wanting to spend some time with family and everything. But I appreciate y'all stopping by for whatever amount of time y'all can stop by. Charlie Mack, no, I do not print plastisol transfer sheets. That's something I need to get into. How you doing, Scooby Doo? Look, I was just talking about me being tired. I guess I'm not the only one that's tired. That Father's Day rush kind of got me a little bit. Teresa said, for all the fathers, men in my life, they're having a great day, a great Father's Day. I don't take the Father's Day role. I don't take it either, even though I'm a single mom. Me and my kids' dad divorced. I don't take the Father's Day role either, but, you know, I still celebrate it because, I don't know if you just tuned in or not, but my son was just printing shirts for his papa. So we getting ready to go over there in a little bit. So, you know, we still do stuff. That's why I was saying, and it's almost 5 o'clock now, but I've been trying to go an hour, but I was saying I was going to get off a little bit early. We'll just be a little bit late going over here, but it's all good. Terrence said something. I said that he's getting into video editing. He used Sony Vegas for now. Something else in common. Thank you for watching, Terrence. And I use Sony Vegas also. Sony Vegas 13 is what I edit everything in. It's a nice program. Thank you for watching, Charles. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. But my kid's dad, he don't really do too much. You know, he's not really around for my kids. But you know, I do have a couple of positive people in their life, and I'm single and not dating. So you know, just a little bit about me that y'all probably didn't ask for. Charles Ezenek said, the biggest mistake I made so far is printing part of the order instead of waiting till all orders are in. Mr. Ezenek, on that, you're talking about like if somebody was ordering a big order and maybe you thought they was going to order a certain amount of shirts, but they didn't order as many shirts. Is that what you're talking about? Because that's something to think of too. Because like if you're printing a big order and you offer a certain price for a certain number of shirts, that's why you have to kind of be aware of stuff like that. Because if they order 50 shirts, but then they say, well, 25 other people don't want the shirts, they're not going to get that 50 shirt price or whatever. How you doing, Maggie? On my setup, Maggie asked how long do I expose screens. On my setup, I expose them for like 5 minutes. But I don't know if you have the same exposure unit that I have. And then the other thing is I live in the south, and it's it's kind of hot and humid down here. But if you live in the north where it's more dry and cooler, your exposure time may not be the exact same as mine. So with something like that, you have to kind of do a little bit of trial and error. But I exposed mine for about 5 minutes, because mine don't have an automatic timer shut off. Sometimes it's a few seconds over that, something like that. But that usually, with the emulsion that I use, it don't usually mess anything up. Jamie says, what size is my press? If you're talking about my heat press, it's a 15 by 15. If you're talking about my other press right here, it is, I got my measuring tape right here, so I'm going to measure it for you. It is 17 inches long by 15 inches wide. And the screens that I use right here, they are 20 by 24. 20 by 24 screens. Scooby-Doo, you need to hook me up with one of those LED exposure units. Maybe I'll get one day. But I'm so cheap at certain things, so as long as that one is working for me, I'll probably stick with it. Because I've been saying I was going to upgrade my press to a 16 by 20, and I still haven't done that yet. But that one, it's been working pretty good for me, and I haven't had any issues with it. So I'm kind of cheap when it comes to that. I'm like, if it's working for me, unless it's just something that I need to be bigger or do more colors or whatever, I kind of tend to stick with that. All right, Terrence, that's a good idea. Kids can help promote that, especially if you have some athletes and some of the popular kids. Yeah, the other kids will want it just because they wearing it. I mean, that's just like this stuff, like the fidget spinners. My kids watched all these videos with these fidget spinners, and they wanted the fidget spinners. I bought it for them. They don't even fool with it. I don't even know if they still got them. They might have sold them to somebody else for all I know. But kids, when they see stuff and see that other people have stuff, they want it. Okay. I have 4 stations, and I have 6 screens or whatever. I can do 6 screens on my press, and I have 4 stations. Teresa says, can I do a video on creating your design? This may not be the exact video that you are asking for, but I have one that'll be coming out this week where I made a design. It's actually a person came in with an order where they had created the design on Custom Ink. And actually, they ordered their family reunion shirts from Custom Ink. And they had some baby ones that they wanted me to print for them that matched their family reunion shirts. So if you on my Instagram, you can see they're the yellow baby ones. It's with the black print on them. I have a video of that coming out. It'll be coming out this week. I just have to go back and redesign it and screen capture that so that I can kind of show you guys how I do it. But I have already filmed the other part of the video, so that'll be coming out this week. And I do plan to do more tutorials, like screen capture tutorials. I just been a little bit busy, and I was so busy this week, I really didn't do much filming. Sometimes when I'm real busy, I don't film as much. Or if I have bigger orders, I don't film as much because it's just, I'm trying to get through and get it done. So I will be doing a few more tutorials for you guys. Let me see. Jammin says, my fluorescent exposure unit takes 2 minutes to expose a screen. That's pretty quick. I'm taking about 5 minutes. Charles Lucas, what have you learned not to do with your customers, i.e. not collecting an upfront deposit for customer orders? I will never ever print shirts without taking a deposit. I do have a few regular customers that I know because I have a good relationship with them that I know they're going to do it. And if they are a business, like sometimes when I'm dealing with the schools and stuff like that, the school is going to write a check at the end. And I have the Arc of Sabine, SARC. I've done shirts for them a few times. You know, they usually, and I don't accept checks unless it is from a business, you know, and an established business, because you will have, I have had a person to write me a bad check before, and I actually had dealt with this person for a long time. It was for a dance group, well, a dance studio. They actually, I used to film their recital every year, and I also used to print shirts. Like I would print their shirt at the beginning of the year, and then I would print a shirt that I would sell at the recital at the end of the year. And this lady, she wrote me a check for the t-shirts. The check bounced. Actually, when she wrote me the check, she asked me if I could hold the check until a certain date. So I was like, okay, that's fine. You know, so she asked me to hold it until, I believe it was like a Wednesday. Now, I didn't deposit the check until the following week because my bank is actually out of town. And like, I don't deal with any other banks in town because I don't know, it's like they can't afford to lose money or something the way that they do. I have had a bank that when I tried to open up my business account there, they didn't want to give me a debit card with my business. And I had been in business a couple of years at that time because I was doing the video editing. And, you know, so I ended up switching to Bancorp South, which is the bank that I've been with since I was in college. It used to be the Bank of Mississippi. But anyway, I don't take checks from people. And if they can't go ahead and pay for it, I don't order. And if somebody come in there, I don't do their order. And if somebody come in there and want a design, but it's like they don't want to, I don't know, like you just have to kind of deal with the people. Like I know some people come in here and they'll make an order or whatever, and I know they're not going to come back. You know, usually if they don't know the sizes of the people, if they are unorganized, they actually have to come in here and make an order before I even do their design. Like some people, you know, they come in here and they want the prices. They want all the paperwork and everything like that so that they can take it back to their group and say, look, here's the prices and, you know, whatever. You know, but I have learned not to print shirts for people. And I'm not saying just don't trust people, but I don't want to be losing money. So anything that I print for you, I can't remove whatever is on it and reprint it. So that's, I think, the main thing that I've learned. And I also have learned to do a contract with the people and explain it to them so that they know, look, if you order in a group pricing and for some reason you come pay your deposit and then the rest of the people don't want to pay for their shirt, these shirts are not leaving off of my premises without my money. So, you know, that's one of the things that I've learned. That's the main thing that I've learned as far as, you know, printing the t-shirts. And also make sure that you get, like if they write down something and something is misspelled, make sure that you keep that there. And I always ask them, double check behind me. Even though I try to make sure I don't misspell anything, I want you to double check behind me and give your approval. And once you approve it, because I had that issue before, I did a video on it, but I think that video is called I Messed Up Their Whole Order, but because of the customer and, you know, the relationship that I had with that customer, I ended up working out a deal that we were both satisfied with. But that's the main thing. You know, you don't want to have any mistakes. If they feel, and when they come in here, some people want you to fill out their order form. No, this is for the customer to fill out. I don't fill these out because if it's a mistake or a problem with it, then it's not going to be on me. So, you know, that's where I go with that. So I know I kind of ran it probably a little bit longer than I needed to on that, but that's the few things that I have learned not to do with my customers. Maggie, Affordable Photo Shoot, said, when burning for a family reunion, do you burn multiple screens for the infant shirts? I have a video where I did some family reunion shirts for a family, and I actually did some infant shirts with that order also. But what I ended up doing is I did the family shirt was a 2-color design, and I did all the shirts that could go on the screen. I mean, that could go on my platens, because I don't have infant platens, because I don't want to have to make a whole bunch of different size screens. So I guess to answer your question, no, I don't burn multiple screens for the infant size shirts. If it's not something that I can heat press, then I just tell them, look, it won't fit on here. If they have a design, because you can't do everything. You can't. My brain is not working, but you cannot print every design that you can do in vinyl. I mean, in screen. Look, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm tired, and my brain ain't working right. But you cannot screen print everything, or everything that you can screen print. You cannot do it in vinyl, because some screen printed stuff is too detailed. So if you have something that is very detailed that you're screen printing, you may not be able to print it exactly as it is in vinyl. So that's usually what I do. I offer them the vinyl graphics instead of the screen printed graphics, because I don't even have an infant press, because I don't want to have to do a whole bunch of screens, because I rarely have. Usually when somebody come in here and they want something printed for an infant, I might have a few infant shirts. It's like that one order that I'm doing. It was 6 shirts, and I wouldn't do no screen for 6 shirts. So that's, I guess, the answer for that question. Let me see. And Jamie said, I don't burn a screen without a 50% deposit. I would never burn no screen. How you doing, Jason? You was a little late today. You usually be one of my early people. You doing all right? But I don't burn a screen without, if they haven't paid their deposit, I would never burn a screen. I have done a design before with hopes that they would go ahead and come on, but there's something that just kind of depends on how the people are when they come in there. Like, a lot of times you can tell if they're gonna come or not. Like, I had a guy last week that came in here. He filled out the order form, ordered the shirt, and I rung the shirt up, and I was like, here's the price of the shirt, and he was like, well, I get paid on Friday. I'll be in here Friday. So I explained to him, I'm like, I don't print shirts unless you go ahead and pay for it, because if I have had people, which this happened like in the beginning, it's been years since this has happened, but I told them I've had people that order shirts and they never come to pick them up. So I don't design a shirt. I don't do the shirt until I get paid, So that guy, just like I was expecting, he never showed back up. Haven't heard anything from him. So, I just wasted a sheet of paper with him filling it out. And then that's another good thing too. You have him to fill it out, and you got his information on there. So if you contact him, sometimes you may be able to get them in. But I usually don't worry about them if they come in and they don't order, because I get enough, without having to try to beg people to come in here. Let me see. I'm having to go back up a little bit. Taryn says, do you have a Facebook page? If so, could you text it to me? I don't really, I mean, I have a Facebook page, and I can't tell y'all the last time I've been on it, because I may have been on it 2 or 3 times in 2017. And when football season comes back, I may go on there to upload. My neck is a little bit tight. I may go on there to upload some pictures of the shirts that I'm doing for that week or whatever. But I don't really do Facebook. I try to do Instagram. I put it on my phone to make it easier to, for me to take the pictures of the shirts and stuff like that. But sometimes when I get real busy, I forget about that. So, yeah. And right here, Terrence says, have I ever used a vinyl as a stencil instead of a photo emulsion? I seen the video on that. Yes, I have. I actually have a video on that also. If you look at my video, I think it's called The Cheapest Way to Print T-Shirts, something like that. And it's, if you look at my screen, you can see that I have the vinyl being used as a stencil in that video. And probably, it may be a few other ones also. And Scooby-Doo says, I don't have many infant shirts. I use vinyl. That's the same thing I do. I don't have any infant platens or whatever. Okay, and a thing about the Instagram, like some of the people on Instagram, like if I go look at your page and you got a private page, I don't usually follow the people like that because I'm like, I don't know, if they got a private page, they may not want people on there because I know like on my Facebook page, my page is private, my personal page or whatever, which I don't go on there much, but I have it private because I don't want a whole bunch of people that I don't really know on there. And I'm not trying to be like rude or mean or anything, but sometimes I post personal stuff on there. If I go on there and post, I might have pictures of my kids and stuff like that, and you never know what's on people's minds. So, if it's not a person that I don't really deal with, I don't really want, I don't really put them on my Facebook page or accept their friend requests. And it's even people around here that I know, but I don't really deal with them. And I don't accept their friend requests either. You didn't miss too much, Jason. We still here. And remember, you can always go back and rewatch it if you want to see what you did miss. Imagination Apparel says, how have you located the used equipment you have acquired? I have two things that were used, which is this 24-inch rolling vinyl cutter, and I found it on eBay, and the guy was located in Texas, so I just drove over. I how on eBay I won the auction, and I didn't pay him on eBay, but I drove over to Texas and met him, and I paid him in person, and my conveyor drive that y'all see back here, those people actually came by here and brought that and asked if they actually came by and talked to me. They was like, hey, we got this t-shirt thing. It's like a t-shirt conveyor thing. They didn't really even know what it was. They had bought a storage unit. You know how the people auction off the storage units, and then they were just trying to get rid of it because they couldn't do anything with it. And when they brought it by here, I ended up buying it from them for, I think it was either $300 or $400. It's been a while, but I have had it for probably about 4 years, 5 years, something like that. I've had it for a minute and haven't had many problems out of it. On the side, I actually did a video on it, but it was missing a couple of buttons on the side, which my uncle could put those in because he's an electrician and he told me actually what to order. I just never ordered them. Just like I was saying earlier, I'm cheap, and if it's working, I don't bother it too much. Just kind of stick with what I have. All right, Jason and Scooby-Doo, what y'all got going on here? I see y'all speaking back and forth. I'm just messing with y'all, just joking with y'all. All right, Jason says Vastec exposes its fluorescent bulbs is 4 minutes and 90 seconds with photopolymer with high detail. Let me see. Scooby-Doo says, I've taken a few checks, but I go to their bank and cash it. Yeah, I had a thing where I ended up taking a check from somebody, and their bank was what's the name of that bank? Capital One. Their bank was Capital One. And I had never really had any. I have a Capital One credit card, but I have never had any dealings with their bank. And I went to that bank. They made me go inside. It was actually on a Saturday too. They made me get out and go inside to cash the check. I'm like, these people really something with this. If you don't have an account at their bank, you got to go inside to cash your checks. But yeah, unless it's a business, I try not to take any checks from them. Jamie said 300 for a conveyor drive. That's a steal. I know. That's why I just, I was glad to get it, even though it was missing buttons. I mean, it worked. I had my uncle to come by here and, test everything out for me, make sure it was all good. And I just gave them their money. William Hart says Digismith is a post board for used equipment. So the person who asked about where did I get used equipment from, that's a place. You can also look on Craigslist. I have seen some on Craigslist before, but it was kind of far away, and I didn't want to have to drive that far to pick it up. But they do have stuff on Craigslist. And sometimes you can check your local newspaper, or I know on Facebook around here we have like some little, I don't even know what they would call them, little swap trade Facebook things where people, if they're selling something, they can post it on there and post like pictures and their information, and you can contact them on there. And let me see. Scooby-Doo said it's a love thing, right, Jason? Y'all silly. Y'all silly. Jammin says the Presses Vastec, my exposure unit was built from scratch, so it's relatively faster than Vastec fluorescent bulb exposure unit. I wish I could build stuff. I see a lot of people building different things, but I'm not that good. My ex-husband was actually a carpenter, so he was good at stuff like that, but I probably wouldn't be able to get him to do anything now. Okay, Freedom Clothing Co. says my Instagram is Freedom Apparel Co. I have the station flash dryer. All I'm missing is the exposure unit. Any videos on what to use to cure it? The exposure unit that I have is the HBE home-based equipment exposure unit, and you can actually find it on eBay for well, that was the cheapest price that I found, but I didn't find that price until after I had purchased mine. But I have a video on it. I think it's called My New Exposure Unit, and you can check it out. I mean, it's just a basic exposure unit. You have to use like a little hand timer. The timer I use is like a little oven timer, and you can stick it right to it. But usually when I go in there and expose my screens, I just bring the timer with me, because I might be exposing the screen, and then I might be weeding some vinyl or whatever else, and then I can have the timer right there where I can see it before it goes off. But yeah, that is something that you can look into. And some people on here, I don't know if you're good at making things or whatever, but that's it. And I also have used a Udo as an exposure unit before. The only thing it worked really good. I didn't have any problems with it. The only thing is I wanted to be able to print some bigger designs. So, that was why I ended up moving up to the next step in exposure units, because that one, they basically the same thing. The only thing with that Udo is it has the timer on there, and it took about 10 minutes to expose the screen, and that could vary depending on your location and what your weather and stuff like that. But you can find people selling Udos online anywhere for cheap because they bought something, they didn't know what to do with it, and they just want to get rid of it. So that's something to look into. And if you check out my video, it's called using a UDO as an exposure unit, I believe is what it's called. But those are 2 videos that you can check out and see if you're interested in one of those. Those are like cheaper options to the more expensive exposure units. All right, let me see. Jason said I'm playing Cupid. Let me see. Richard says, how do I like my Vastex press? It's okay. I mean, in the beginning, I had a few little issues with it, and right now, I have a 6-color press, but one of my print heads is having an issue where I don't know, it's just having an issue, and I really can't use it. So now I really just have a 5-color press because it won't hold registration, because I don't really even know why. And I had talked with Vastex about that in the beginning and try to get them to help me out with it. And I don't really like their customer service. If I had it to do over again, I would not buy Vastex. But I mean, as far as that's the only problem that I have with it. And everything else works pretty well for me. But that's, I just didn't really like the way that is as expensive as their presses are. I felt like they customer service could have been a whole lot better. And then when I did get my press in, it was missing a bolt, and I had to wait like 2 weeks for them to send just that one bolt. I probably could have went to the hardware store to find it, but I just it kind of ended up holding me up from being able to use my new press, because I had the silver press at first, and I kind of ended up just having to stick with that until I could get everything together. Let me see. You can use vinyl, but it won't last for long runs. It's for a quick few shirts. Yeah, and I found out using the vinyl, I actually attempted, which this probably was not a smart idea on my part. I attempted to use vinyl with the Plastisol ink before and just destroyed a screen. I don't know. It's just like the Plastisol ink bonded with the vinyl or something. I don't know exactly what happened, but I wouldn't recommend using it with Plastisol ink. And maybe I did something wrong that caused that whole problem, but I wouldn't recommend using the vinyl with the Plastisol ink, only with the water-based ink. Oh, someone says OfferUp is another place you can get used equipment from. Jammin says, if your question is to me, I hate my Vastex press. I have the 1000, so can't wait to get rid of it. That's the same press I have, I believe, the V1000. Jason N says, I'm a woodworker. It comes in handy for sure. Scooby-Doo says, I have the 200 HD and love it. Yeah, I was too cheap to get that one. Maybe I wouldn't have had the problems I'm having if I would have got that one. But if I have it to do again, I don't know what press I would go with right now, but I wouldn't go with the one that I have for sure. And I mean, it's not that terrible of a press. It's just I didn't like, I just got the press and had a few issues, and I felt like with me just now getting the press, Vastex should have taken care of whatever issues I had, but that wasn't the case. So it's more about their customer service to me. I try to treat my customers right, so I expect to be treated right. Absalom, make sure you turn that heat press off, okay? And you can turn that AC off too, because it shouldn't be too hot with that, because we're about to get ready to get up out of here. Not quite. I'm trying to make sure I can answer everybody's questions before we go. You've been on there, but you was being silly. Jason N says, I want to learn to weld next. That's a funny thing you say. Let me see. I just had a person on here that he actually came to my shop, Mr. Ezenak, and he actually had welded. He know how to weld and do, I guess, metal work. I don't know exactly what you would call it, but he made his own scoop coater. And I thought that was nice because he could actually, I mean, it looked really nice. He did a real good job on it. So that's something to get into. You could probably make your own screen presses and start selling them. Let me see. I'm trying to answer these questions because there's quite a few questions I'm behind. And look, Jammin said that she hate, or I'm sorry, I'm not sure if Jammin is a male or a female, but they hate their Vastec press. Maybe you can get with them and buy that one if there's something you're interested in, and they could upgrade to a different press. Okay. Richard says Cruiser. Oh, I'm sorry. Richard didn't say that. Jammin said to Richard, Cruiser is awesome. Scooby-Doo says, I like the registration on the 200 HD. Jammin says that press is by M&R, the M&R Cruiser. Jason says, I'm scratching some brand new screens this week. If anyone needs new screens 20 by 24, I need to get with you, Jason, on fixing some of my screens. I'm going to have to get with you when I get a chance. It might be during the slower time, when t-shirt season kind of dies down a little bit. Freedom Clothing says, do you have any videos of how to screen print from start to finish? I'm a beginner, but I have professional equipment. I recently bought the Epson Artesian 1430. I do have a video. I actually have a playlist. If you check my playlist, it should be how to screen print step by step, and it's like one video shows you like how to coat the screens with emulsion. It goes into each video. One shows you how to register screens, different stuff like that. So you can check that out, and hopefully that'll help you out a little bit. Jammin says the Vastec 2000 is great, but the M&R Cruiser is awesome sauce. Charles Lucas says, how do you check your dryer's temperature to cure the ink on the shirt? Temperature is 320 degrees. The way that I do it, I have a heat gun. Grab my heat gun over there, son. It's right here. You can get it right there. Go right there and get it for me. This right here, it's a infrared thermometer, and I got this from Amazon, and it's just a little, it might have been maybe $15 or something like that. And what you do is, it's got this little trigger on here. Let me see if I can hold it up higher, but it's got this trigger on here, and then when you turn the trigger on, it's got the red light right there. I don't know if the red light. So when you and I'm sorry, whoa, did I get y'all? But anyway, you get this little red light right here, and you shine it onto your ink. And if the ink needs to cure at 320, your temperature needs to be higher than 320. So your temperature needs to be at least around 340 or so. So, I usually test it as it's coming through. And I test it like on the side, on the middle, and on the other side, on each side and in the middle, to try to make sure that the temperature is reaching the correct temperature all throughout my shirt. And the reason that I do that is because inside of my exposure unit, it has oven coils, which I haven't had any problems with it, but you have to make sure that the whole thing is reaching 320. And what you could do also is, if you have the oven coil type and you're worried about it, you can run it through one time and then you can turn it the other way and run it through again. But I haven't really had any problems with it. But that's how I test my temperature. All right, Teresa. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, Freedom Clothing says they have the temperature guns for $14 on eBay. Jazz Scooby-Doo says I checked them both out at the ISS Long Beach show, and I like the Vastex better. That's talking about the two different presses, the M&R and the Vastex. Freedom Clothing says, Charles Lucas, there are also false dryers with temperature on them, like I have, or flash. I think they meant to say flash dryers. Or conveyor dryer, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong. I see you ducking and acting up back there, boy. But I still have the gun. So he has that temperature on his dryer, but he still used the gun to check it, double check it. Yeah, Jammin says, I have the same problem with mine. One of my 4 heads is working, and their tech support was not helpful. Yeah, I just did not like the Vastec customer service, so I cannot recommend them just because of their customer service. Especially when you buy a press like that, those presses are not cheap. You're welcome, Richard. Jason says he wants the Vastec V2066. Jason says jealous of Scooby-Doo. Uh-oh, y'all gonna hook up after all. I'm just messing with y'all. I'm gonna stop. I don't want to run y'all off. Scooby-Doo says, wow, they answered all my questions and sent missing parts with no problem. I mean, they sent the missing parts with no problem, but it just took so long to get here. Maybe because I live in Louisiana, I'm not sure if you may be located closer to them. I want to say they're on the East Coast somewhere, if I remember right. Well, maybe that's why it took so long, but they answered questions. But my thing was, I had an issue with my print head, and they was trying to tell me that it was what I was doing wrong. They asked me to send them pictures of stuff, and then they was like, well, here's the problem. So I attempted to fix the problem following their instruction. Nothing. Would you please get from behind me? Because you're going to be in trouble when we get home, because I see you acting silly behind me. So because that, I sat there on the phone with them and tried to fix things their way, but that it didn't work. So because of how they did, and then they could have just let me send the thing back, even if I had to pay shipping and handling or whatever, or they could have offered to send. I mean, they didn't try hard enough. I didn't feel like they tried hard enough. So the same problem that I had when I first got my press, and I had to wait 2 weeks for that part to get to me. Then, and they sent the part. It just took a long time to get to me. I had called and I was like, hey, I still haven't got the part. And they gave me the tracking number and everything, and it eventually arrived. But, I had to wait. Then, by the time I did get the press set up and had an issue with one of the print heads, I just felt like they should have took care of that. They're probably $1 billion industry or more. So they should have been able to do better customer service. And they probably don't think about stuff like we getting on here talking about it. I'm having an issue with it, another person having an issue with it, and that'll deter people from buying from them because of their customer service. So, they should think more about stuff like that. Yeah, Richard says, I've heard both good and bad about their customer service. Sounds like a hit or miss. Yeah, that could be it too. Imagination Apparel says, I have found that the universe provides to those that serve others. Thanks for the videos. 300 for a conveyor dryer is a great deal. It's an awesome deal. I know I would never find a deal close to that again. Jason says, I have a workhorse and love it, but I think the Antique Legend is by far the best press. And Jamie says, it was definitely a miss the 3 times I called. Like, I called a couple of times myself, but, you know, when stuff get like that, I just rather not deal with them because they get me frustrated and stuff. And then, you know, you're trying to work and you got issues with your press and they can't help you or won't help you. Scooby-Doo says everyone will have something they like or dislike about all of the presses. That's true. It's really based on your preference. Imagination Apparel operates a Randor Elite 6-6. Let me see. Alright, and I'm about to have to get off of here because I'm pretty late right now. Jason N says temp guns are not good. They only work a little when up close. Get yourself a donut probe to give you exact temp of the ink. King of Bling says, I have a flash unit but have outgrown it. Freedom Clothing says, oh, you're only 17? That's awesome. You'll be a millionaire quick, starting out at that young of an age. Monty Rossi, something like that. I'm probably butchering your name, but they said, what do you think of a new Tupac movie? I was interested in it until I heard that, what's her name? I can't even think of her name, but she was a friend of Tupac's when he was alive. When she talking about the movie, I'm like, I don't know, because I was a big Tupac fan back in the day. Let me see. Like what I see says, how often do I wash test? Well, pretty, well, I ain't gonna say pretty often, but when I'm printing during the football season, my kids go to school and they wear Spirit shirts to school every Friday. So they're wearing these same shirts that I printed. So, you know, during football season, I test wash more. I don't really print a lot of shirts for myself. You know, sometimes whatever, if an event come up or something, then I'll print them and I wear my shirts. Like y'all see, I have on t-shirts. Like the one I have on today, I didn't print this one, but most of the shirts that I print, I wear. So you know, I'm wearing and testing them out and everything. All right. And I'm trying to answer all these questions because I know they're not going to be on here once I close this out. Okay, I think I might have got everything. Let me see. You're welcome, Teresa. And thank y'all too, viewers. When y'all give y'all input and stuff, that helps people too. Yeah, when you helping people, you know, somebody may come on here and be able to answer your question because I have questions about things sometimes. So I've been thinking about adding to my business. Just like earlier, I was asking about the website questions because that's something I'm thinking about adding. So yeah, we can help each other on here. And I'm gonna have to get on off of here. And I thank you guys for tuning in. I'm trying my best to get all 5 videos out this week for Monday through Friday. And if people have requested videos, I'm working on some of those also. I'm working on the pricing video, a design video. So if y'all have any other video requests, y'all can post them below one of my videos and I should get to them. Freedom Clothing Co. says, mind giving me your opinion? I don't know if that question was to me. What is the opinion about? If you let me know right quick, I can try to answer before I get off. Thank you for tuning in, Jammin. You enjoy the rest of your day also. See you later, Charles Lucas. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, that was to Scooby-Doo, I think, the question. Let me see. Jason left his email for anybody to hit him up, and it's JAYENZ561@gmail.com, and he said hit me up with any questions or screens, because he also remeshes screens. So I know this is gonna once I end this, you're not gonna be able to get the info, so that's why I'm telling it to you. Alright, see you next Sunday, Teresa. I'm sorry, Jason Ends. I messed up. My bad. It's his email address, and he said you can hit him up if you have any questions or if you need screens remeshed. It is JAYENZ516@gmail.com. So if y'all are interested in that, y'all be sure to hit him up, because I know I plan to send some screens up there to him once I get a chance, when things slow down a little bit probably. But thank you guys for tuning in today, and I'm gonna see y'all next week, and I will be posting the videos coming up this week. Also, I'm trying to get 5 of them in this week at least for y'all. So I'll see you guys in the next video. And y'all, if this y'all first time, y'all be sure to subscribe, because I try to put as many videos out as I can and try to answer all your questions. And happy Father's Day to everybody. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.